I have tea now. I'm burning myself. It's hot. Okay, so let's keep making solitaire. So that was part one, where we could drag cards around and move them between stacks. Part two is now we want to start making it like solitaire. So we're going to do two things. One, we're going to display it correctly with the solitaire stacks will be like vertical. It'll like render them offset. It'll render all the cards in the stack, not just the top card. And the way it's going to do that is by creating small game objects, instantiating them with sprite renderers, and then offsetting their vertical position and their layer to be one higher, and then rendering them, and then the last one will be face up, the rest will be also face up, as child objects. So we'll have these components that have sprite renderers as child objects. So each stack, when we refresh our display, we're not just going to change our sprite renderer. We're going to render a child object for each card in this stack. We'll make a public boolean render as render all cards. Set that to true. And that way we can keep this code. If render all cards is false, we'll just render the top one. Else, we'll turn off the sprite renderer that this card requires. And we will see who is calling me. It's spam. Spam calls. So we will delete all child objects, create new child for each card, create a new child object, give it a sprite renderer, and set its value. So to delete all children objects, for each, transform child, capital T, transform, in transform. You can actually loop through your transform component, and that will loop through all child game objects, and then we'll cast them to transforms, I believe. I set that to var. What is Unity to set? Object, yeah. So we'll set them to transform. For every transform child in transform, we will destroy child. Could we use a pooling system here? You betcha. But in my experience, we don't start with the pooling system. You just make it work, and then you know where you need one. For each card in our stack. Well, that's a pretty, for each card C in stack. That should go in order from bottom to top. We will create a new game object from scratch. We don't need to clone a prefab. We don't need to clone anything. We're going to make our own from scratch. Game object new card equals new game object. New card dot transform dot set parent to us. New card dot transform dot position equals our position. New card dot add component sprite renderer. Does this return a reference to it? Yeah. Sprite renderer new SR equals. We've added a component to it. Now we take that new sprite renderer dot sprite equals C dot face up sprite. Yeah. So the only problem is that we're not offsetting the position by an amount. So we need to do something about that. For that, we'll change this to a regular old for loop. For this will be stack dot count and stack I dot face up sprite. And now we will take, it'll be our position minus vector3 dot down times I times offset. And we'll make that a public float. Visual offset, there we go, visual offset. All right, let's see what happens. Who knows? The visual offset is 0. Let's change the visual offset to 0.25, making numbers up. I don't know what number it should be. That didn't do anything. But do we have... They're not rendering in the correct order. New card dot or new SR dot order. What is it called? Sorting order equals I. That should help. So this should be king 6 7. So king, here's the 6, here's the 7. But they are not being visibly offset like this. They should be though. Why not? Set its parent. How about we just set its local position? And we make sure visual offset is 0.25. I probably only changed it for 1, and I probably only, yeah, there it is. There it is. Wait, it's upside down. This is like breaking my brain. Negative vector3 dot down, negative dot, it needs to be -1. Down is already equal to y value of -1. I put a negative there thinking, -1. Silly, silly, silly. Ooh, oh no. Why are you not working? Because that one didn't get changed. I noticed a problem. In Solitaire, you can drag multiple cards at a time. I didn't do that. I only took one card at a time. So instead of dragging a card, we need to drag a stack. But now we need multiple box colliders to figure out where, to figure out if we're clicking on the card. Should a card keep track of what stack it's currently belonged to, and then we just click on the cards, and then it tells us the stack? That'd be the easiest way to do it. I forgot, I didn't plan ahead. I didn't plan far enough ahead to dragging multiple cards at a time. So the visual side shouldn't be too difficult of a change. We we go to the dragging card script and we give it, instead of a sprite renderer component, we just give it a stack component. And then if we drag one card, we just add one card to the stack, it gives itself one child object that has a sprite renderer, or should be good there. And if it's empty, it's empty. That should be fine. And then when we want to grab multiple cards, then we need to somehow move 3 at a time. To do that, we need to figure things out, to like do programming. We didn't think ahead. Well, let's just do the solution is to add a box collider to every one of these child cards. And then anytime we get a card, our card, we keep track of oh, I'm not typing. Oh my gosh. In the card object, I'm having a private card stack component. In the card stack, I am new card dot. Oh, it should be public. It should be hide in inspector public. Okay. New card dot current card stack is this. And then when we remove, so that's when we add a card to it. For start, for each card, C in stack, C dot current card stack is this. And then in our rendering component, we're actually going to add a box collider to the card. We're going to add a box collider to the card. And then on the card mover, if you've been following along at this point, you just may want to watch and just see what I'm even trying to do, because I'm not sure this is going to work. On the mover, we're not going to check if there is a stack here. We need to see if there is a get component. Card equals stack collider.get component card return card dot current card stack. That's not going to be enough information because we need to tell the current stack which card we picked. Get component? Oh. In parent. Let's make an empty. So when we clicked on the object, we're now clicking on these children objects, right? So we need a way. We need a way to control that. So let's make a new script for card visual. Card visual, and we will we'll have this update the sprite renderer. And we'll have a card. Sprite renderer dot sprite equals card dot face up sprite. Okay. And then in the card stack, we'll make a new game object, give it a sprite renderer, card visual CV equals new card dot add component card visual. You generally want to use a prefab instead of having to bother doing all this add component stuff. You would probably just do a prefab, and then we would do something like CV dot card equals stack I. And that would update the sprite renderer for us. Gosh, that's kind of ugly because we're making a change to the sprite renderer and the card visual is, but we can refactor that later. That's probably not a complicated thing to refactor. But here now we can look for card visual. What was I returning? Card visual dot card dot current card stack. Maybe the card visual should be the thing that keeps track of the stack it's part of and not the card object. That makes sense. That makes sense. Card stack card. See, this is why this is why I had a plan. I thought through, I thought ahead on everything I wanted to do. What did I call that? Card visual dot card stack. Card stack there. And then this thing now doesn't need to bother with any of that. Didn't need any of that because we will just set it. Card stack equals this. Card visual is that if card visual is not null, return that. Do these have card visuals? They do. There's an error. Now let's return no. Okay. It's getting ugly. Cool. Can't click on anything. These have box colliders. What are the box collider sizes? Size is 0.0001. Probably should give that an actual volume, huh? All right, we got to use a prefab. We got to use a prefab. It's getting too ugly without a prefab. Card visual. And the card visual will have a sprite renderer, a card visual script, and a box collider, and the box collider will be set to the appropriate values. Oops. All right. And then our card stack will have a public game object card visual prefab. Instantiate card visual prefab at with ourselves as a parent, so we don't need that. We can set its position. we can set equals new card dot get component. Oops. And that is dot get component, and that is dot get component. So let's just do those in order. We don't need a box collider. Okay. So we get the sprite renderer, we set its sorting order so they display the right order. We could maybe change its Z value too. That might be one less line of code. We get the card visual and we set the card and the card stack of that for reference, and all from the prefab. So now we take the card stack and we give them all the prefab. We might need to do the Z value just so that the so question, do you need a box collider on the card stacks? Because we're not looking for those objects anymore. That's just going to mess us up. All right. So now I want my card mover to have a card my stack and previous from stack. And then my stack equals get component, my get component card stack. And then where are the errors? Should be a lot of errors. From, what do I call it? From stack, where the card came from. We'll add our card to that. And then, and if we need, this is where we'll do that. Okay. Can card go here? My stack dot top card. Public card, top card, stack card, stack dot. Look at that little, look at this little bit of code. Look at this little fancy thing. What does that mean? Let's do that as a function. Public card peak. Return if stack.count is greater than 0. Else return null. Peak. We're just going to take a quick look at what the top card of your deck is. And then that should, maybe don't need those. If my stack dot peak is null. We don't need to do any of that. Because the stack, we're going to have a card stack here. Oh no, oh boy, oh no. Okay, let's try a valid move. It's not letting go. It's not letting go. Okay. We want to just grab the card that we're grabbing, right? We're just getting the card visual. The card visual is both the card and the stack. So we this will make multiple cards. Card stack dot new drop stack. What do I call this? Okay, when I let go, my stack dot not peak but take top card. So I should remove it from the top card and add it to there. That was the bug. Was that when we let go, we ended up cloning the data. Now nothing works. Nothing works. Why does nothing work? If we let go on a card stack, if we can drop our top card, this should be our bottom card. Peak bottom. Okay, if we have multiple cards in a row, it should show you the bottom card. All right. If our bottom card can go onto their top card, then we should add all of our cards to them. We'll change that line, we'll change that function and refresh. If you keep trying it, maybe it'll just start working. All right, let's get into the debug. Oh, we left debug mode when I took a break. 1 hour and a half. I was hoping for 2 hours, but I got really slowed down by the by not knowing what I'm doing. Release drag. What is this line of code here? That's where we're dropping it. That's false. Why is that false? What changed? What is... let's try again. All right, our stack is equal to, it has 1 card in it, the Jack of Diamonds. Is that right? Yes. The drop stack we're dropping onto has one card in it. The Jack of Diamonds. Oh. I am checking my collision, but the object that I'm bringing with me is what I'm clicking on. So I need to disable the colliders for the cards that that is in my thing. So we'll just public will disable colliders. How about selectable? And then when we do this part, if selectable is false, new card dot get component collider 2D dot enabled equals false. And then we will say that these stacks are all selectable, but the dragon card stack is not. Okay. Hacky. It's getting hacky. All right. Object reference not set to an instance of an on. Well, I broke something on an empty stack. Okay. Oh, if there is no stack. Card is card here equals that if is card here is not null. Is card here dot. Okay. So now, in order to fix this, all I need to do is add some functions to my card stack that are not just taking one card from the top of the deck, but you can take from the card you clicked on to the top cards. So we're going to change, let's minimize some of this. Let's say public card take top cards from card. Sorry, card from card. Saying the word card too many times. If stack dot contains from card, else return null. So if the card we selected is in the stack, int I equals stack dot index of the from card. So that's the index of the card we have selected. And this is actually going to be a list where we're going to return a list of cards. We're going to return stack dot split dot get range. Add range. I want to remove range. Does that remove the number of cards that does that return the number of cards? Okay. We'll move get range from I to card stack dot count minus I. So the range so it's index and count minus I. So if I is the bottom card, it is stack dot count. So it's index I, or it's stack dot count minus 1. So it's from that index, one card should return that. List of top cards equals stack dot remove range stack dot I stack dot count minus I. Return top cards. Okay. Now let's do public void add cards to stack. And this will take a list of cards. And we'll take stack.add. We'll just loop through for loop through stack.add new cards I. Okay, and now our mover will add cards to stack, and then we'll just add our entire stack. And my stack dot clear. Clear. We'll write a clear function. And the clear function will clear the array, but it will also refresh the visuals, because I don't want to bother writing both. So we'll just clear our, we'll add all of ours to the old one, and we'll clear ours. Peak bottom is still good for our stack. Now we just need to get all of our cards. So that is add cards to stack from stack dot get. What did I call that? Take top cards with the card visual selected card equals this card here. From stack is the selected card dot card stack, and we'll take in the top cards starting at the selected card. Get rid of that to do. Is this even going to work? No. No, it's not. Okay, I think I know why, at least somewhat why. When we give up and it's null, we only add one card back. We need to give up and add all the cards back. Why is it? You can see here in the inspector the stack is getting added. Every time I click, it's empty. Why is it getting larger and larger? It should only be running the start drag function once. Is it not removing all the previous cards? Add cards to stack, card stack. Add card to stack. We should refresh the display. That's probably our bug. There we go. Well, maybe it's not, I mean, we still have a bug, something's wrong with the logic, but we should at least see what the bug is now. It is not removing it when I take them. Okay. So, when we take the top cards, I need to remove. Shouldn't that just be the same? Is it the problem with remove range? What if I didn't use remove range? We just loop through. I mean, that's not good code. You should just remove the, we know the indexes that we want to remove. But I'm just kind of testing if that's the bug. Look at that. I can grab the queen and drag it. I can grab the jack and drag it. I can grab the 7, grab the king. Nice. These don't let, shouldn't these let a king go drop there? Still some bugs. We're coming up on time though, so. Let's add a public integer for sprite, sorting order offset, set that equal to 0. And then here we'll set the sorting equal to sprite, sorting order offset plus I. And then on our dragon card, our sorting order offset will be like at least 52. And now the cards I am dragging should appear above any other cards there. There are these 2 empty ones that should accept a king, and they do not. Required value first card, King of Hearts. King of Hearts. It's a value of 13. It's not on my face, but it's there. Card stack. Can card go here? Where's my can card go here function? Structure. Can card can go here. There it is. All right. If the stack.count is 0, then we'll be down here. And if the value is not -1, then it will only be true if our new card's value is, why is that not returning true? Probably should have, let me try that again. I'm in editor, I got some. All right, card can go here. We're just gonna, we're gonna step through it. I am there, we'll skip this one. I wanna know what happens when I let go of the king. Oh. There is no empty collider because there is no card. So the stacks, earlier, about half an hour ago, I thought to myself, do the stacks need colliders? All right. Okay. We will make, as part of our display, if stack.count is greater than 0, we'll do all of this. else we will instantiate an empty placeholder, and we will say empty placeholder dot get component card visual dot card stack equals this. Well, I guess we should. We will say empty card visual dot card equals null dot card stack equals this. Will that be enough for the card mover? Grabs a card, selected card. It gets the stack, checks if the stack is here, and adds the cards to it. Or takes the cards from it. This will have an 0. It'll just take, it'll return null. Probably get an error. And from stack dot count is greater than 0. Okay. I don't think this is going to work. Do a null check on that. Turn on and off the sprite renderer. Nah. Something's not right. We have to understand the bugs before we can fix them. We can't just hope. Okay. Safety checks. Again, this is not understanding our bugs. We're just getting rid of symptoms without curing the problems. I think I'm going to offset the z positions of these values so that the collider, I don't know, I'm going to fix that. Because if you select right in the middle, it's overlapping all 3 of these box colliders, which is bad. And it doesn't always work. Why not? What is the symptom? What changed? None of these have empty ones. These visuals all have, the properties are set. I gotta just fix this bug and then we're just gonna call it there because No time to do the manager. Why? I went too fast? Didn't understand my code? We should not, we don't need to do an empty placeholder. We shouldn't make one. Card mover is card here. From stack equals select the card stack. Okay. Release drag. If the card here, if the card here is not null, we go from there. Else, check if we clicked on an empty stack. And then if we did, then we should basically do this. Ooh, copying and pasting code is bad. All right. So let's just take card here and replace it with is stack here. Card stack equals get component in parent. I want that to say get component. That could have been our bug. That could have been a different bug. All right. Then I think we need to change our code to overlap points and then loop through all the different cards that it's all the different objects that we clicked on. Okay. That won't work yet because we need to give these box colliders. Seems pretty good. Some null checks, make sure we're not breaking our code. I saw that earlier and I thought there should probably be a null check there. But $152. No, none of it works. I shouldn't grab the 6. I should grab the king, right? If the mouse is here. Jack doesn't work. I broke everything. Why is that one being different? This one. 2. Is there anything different about it? I don't know, but we could do on the card stack, we could turn off our collider if we have objects. If there are cards here, we should turn off the box collider that belongs to this card. I guess this needs a box collider. That'll never... That's stupid. We should do that with code. Else, if selectable. This is so ugly. This got so out of control. It's got so out of hand. Probably just going to cut it the first hour. We're done. It works. It almost works. We're done. I'm going to end the video here. Look, 155 kind of was what I was going for, except I didn't do any of the game manager stuff. I'm going to make a second video, separate video. Split this into 3 parts. Second part of me struggling through this mess. Third part where I do an actual game manager that can shuffle and deal out the cards, because that's the next step. But I got to stop it here. Enjoy Solitaire in an hour. Card game mechanics in an hour. Solitaire and Sword almost in 2 hours.